So everyone, welcome. I'm Doug Bag from the Study in Spandex podcast, and I'm sitting here with
just regular Darren.
Darren. He's a regular fan.
I'm a regular wrestling fan.
Are you would you be would that be a gimmick? A regular guy from the street?
That will now be my gimmick.
Regular Darren.
Regular Darren, regular moves.
You're the face of this story, alright? that's you cheer for that if someone's got a DDT as a finisher.
Oh yeah,
you
and a submission and a armbar.
Yeah, and a Boston Crab when it gets hard. It's like, one leg Boston Crab.
No flips.
So yeah, we decided to make a podcast about wrestling because we spend a lot of our time watching it. I spent too many years, I know that.
I still spend too much time watching SmackDown and Raw specifically.
Well, there's been a big thing that's changed for me. Is like I got into wrestling because of obviously WWE. I think like most people our generation get into WWE because it's the thing you see. In the UK, it was fucking Sky Sports at 1 in the morning.
Yep.
So it was hard to get a hold of. It was like you felt like a cool kid when you could watch it, and that was the appeal to me as a kid. It was like, oh, it's the thing you stay up late and watch.
Yeah.
And I went from that, and now I'm hitting the curve where I think I'm slowly getting close to giving up WWE as a product.
Yeah.
I'm so into everything else.
Whereas
Someone's a hipster guy.
I watch the weekly show regularly, mainly just the highlights now. I'm not getting time to kind of 3 hours is too long for a regular show.
Yeah.
But I just can't get away from it, regardless of how much we discuss kind of the outcome of pay-per-views and bookings and like. I don't know what it is though. It just has that attraction.
The magical world of wrestling.
The magical world of WWE and.
Well, WWE, something's always happening. It's like something's always happening in the wrestling world, but because WWE is so big in the wrestling world. Something's always happened in WWE. Like they're always, even I don't think they're terrible at advancing storylines, but they're always doing something to try and advance the storyline. Like there's always something happening where it's mixed match challenge. I was going to do this in this moment talking about like what is exciting me right now in wrestling. 205 is a worthy hour of wrestling. And it's not getting that push on the platform that it should be getting. Like people should be talking about 205 the same way they talk about NXT. Well, it'll be on the pre-show of the Super Show. It might not actually. It probably might be the opener or something like that.
I thought that it will be the opener because it seems to be that kind of. You can see where WWE, like where they place it. It's always pre-show. They don't see it going any bigger. I think that is because they are small cruiserweights compared to what it used to be like.
But it's still weird how they advertise it because 205 tours by itself now, but yet they're going to be on the main show, and they've not been on the main show in months and months because they used to be on Raw. It's like they just jump around. It's like, and whereas I think 205 is slowly becoming a brand of itself that I really like.
Yeah, well they have moved it now. It's Wednesdays, yeah. So it's now no longer the matches straight after the actual show with people when the crowd is dead and they're kind of like a few stay for it.
The last thing I'm interested for, I started thinking about that. The Wednesday change is very exciting in the world of WWE because it's the only night I watch now. I don't watch Monday, Raw and SmackDown, and I started to think, are they going to write it as a 3-hour show and plan, we need this kind of, so we need some fast-paced action at the end, and we're going to have like some like technical wrestling in NXT, and then we're going to have the fun for everyone mixed match challenge.
Yeah. So
they could actually start writing as a 3-hour block, no longer as, and have all the different genres because of the shows, but like it being a pay-per-view where you have all the different styles.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great idea, but I do feel there's got to be more story implemented into 205 because it is just right now. It is kind of only one belt. It's always difficult to book around.
Yeah, always, and I think the issue I've seen with 205, and that's why when we get onto predictions, I have a serious belief that Buddy Murphy will win. Is all that 205? The only story that's been carrying 205 is Cedric Alexander defending his belt, and he's been beating everyone therefore. And then so it looks like it's the whole roster and Cedric Alexander, which isn't a good feeling because I think guys like Leo Rush, I think guys like TJP, I think guys even like Gulak should be considered on the top end of 205 roster.
Yeah.
But they're all lower compared to just the champion.
Yeah, he's
really
put on such a pedestal. Like even when obviously Drake Maverick or Rockstar Spud,
Spud for the fans.
the way he talks about Cedric Alexander, the way he cuts his promos, like there is no other side to them. It's just a case of this guy is the best. No one can defeat him.
Yeah.
I actually think Jack Gallagher could be up there when he was babyface.
But then they gave him too much character, and then it was like he needs to be a storyline. We give him the full suit thing.
That was.
And then it was just in timing for the NXT UK, so then they turned him face again for NXT UK, and you go, that's what I mean when they fit them in. There's also this thing they're trying to be their own brand and their own characters, but then if they need someone to job to, they'll give you a cruiserweight. But you've built up Drew Gulak on 205 like he's a big boss.
Yeah,
and then compared to any other product, they're nothing. They're jobbers, which is a really weird thing.
And Gulak's a guy that could easily thrive main roster in terms of promo work and wrestling.
Wrestling. When I looked at that match with Cedric Alexander, I was like, this man is telling an absolute story in the ring, like really telling a story, and he don't need anything else. But he holds his own as that character, and he shows it really well.
He's fantastic, and I actually thought that would have been the match that they'd given it to him. Yeah. I thought when I watched that, I was certain that Gulak was going to walk away with the title,
and it would have made sense because then Buddy Murphy would be going against a heel in his hometown, massive pop. Whereas there were some people who like Alexander because he's been pushed that much, so of course you're going to like the champion. So it's a face against face for the Super Show. But I mean, now we're going. Now we're picking the holes of WWE, which can go on for hours.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you because I was saying what got me into wrestling. What is the thing? If you can say the one thing that sticks out, like this is what caught me with wrestling.
So I grew up watching wrestling because my granddad was a massive wrestling fan, and like my uncle. So every time I went over to my grand's, we'd watch it, and they had Sky.
Did he go back to the giant haystack days?
Yeah.
He was World of Sport. Like,
He still sits and watches the new stuff. The new World. What's it called?
World of Sport. The new one. But
yeah, and he actually likes it. He's watched everything in TNA. He still watches Impact.
The way that he's seen wrestling evolve is like mind blowing.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously we're at the era where it's kind of work ethic and 5-star matches and
dropping people on their necks.
Yeah, crazy wrestling, not the outdoor brawling from the 90s and 80s.
Punch and take a cocaine.
Everything's outside. Especially when it was more gimmick heavy in the sense that the characters were almost like a caricature.
Yes.
You think of like, I'm going really back, like Repo Man, like characters like that, little silly characters,
Well, that's the thing, giant haystacks. Haystacks, look, even his name, you get the character. You're like, right, so he's a massive dude. Adrian Street was the first like cross-dresser wrestler in British wrestling, fucking amazing character. And you could get them like that because they look like the character and Marty Scurll's the one guy I'm like, he does homage to that. You can tell I think he's a very old school character. In the villain.
Oh, it's one of the best characters. He's so enticing to watch, and also like kind of old school moves still as well. And
with the chicken. Yeah, for sure.
But the match what got me into wrestling then was when every time I watched it, this was the kind of attitude era. Kind of entering obviously maybe like the early 2000s.
Rocky was Rocky still there?
Yes. Yeah.
Rock's still there, right? Cool.
That was one of the main things that grabbed me because I remember watching The Rock and obviously the theatrics of every move and the selling. That grabbed me, and as well like the match with Triple H.
Yes. Triple H.
Rock Triple H.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah, that's probably up there as one of my favourite matches.
And they're two characters, and that really is two characters going at it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I would say the thing that got me into wrestling was 100% The Rock, and then as I became more aware, as I got older, Triple H was the WWE guy that got me into that brand.
He was, for me, it was the same. I was a big Triple H guy, and it was always because he was the guy that stayed. Like, he was always the poster guy. Throughout the whole period when Rocky left, it was still Triple H, and then Undertaker and Batista came along, but it was still Triple H. And then DX got revived, and it was still Triple H. So he was like the one poster boy that you were like, oh, well, there's other guys that go and come and go, but Triple H is always there. And
right now, like we're going to go into later with the predictions, is he's still there.
He's still there.
And he's still the face. And he's still, whenever he feels like inserting himself in, he's like, you know what? Yeah.
It's weird because any of his track record recently, I go, yeah, the man shouldn't be there. But all the people, he shouldn't be there. But he made Ronda Rousey look great at WrestleMania. I gotta say that's the one thing that I'm happy inserting himself in that match, because the moment where she punches him, and he takes it like it's stinging and it's like poison. Oh, it's so good.
Or when
I was like, he knows the business. He knows
she
how
picks
to
him
do
up and you think she's going to slam him.
Yeah.
No, that was
he was
great.
the guy that did the job at that moment. I realised, and I had the same feeling before WrestleMania. I was like, why is Triple H taking the move at the time of the card? But him, an Undertaker, and Kane's now confirmed to be at ringside,
along with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, but we'll get into this.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Because I have a major. There's a rumour going around about what's next for that.
Yes,
it's not the final chapter of Triple H. So he's still going to go on. I think maybe when AJ's retired, Triple H will still be there.
Triple H will be there until he's 100.
Wrestling Grand Metalik on the final stage of them all.
Still not putting people over, regardless
he's still got that,
of the match.
Oh, mate, he's still got that spade ready to
and he's took over 205, not to bring that back up again. But
that's why he's doing well, it seems. It seems he gets the characters, he gives him time. Every match is 15 minutes, at least. The opening match will be 15 minutes. I was very excited for Leo Rush. No.
Yeah, it's great to see Leo Rush actually on television after the whole kind of
because
that totally killed his NXT.
But I was watching it, and it's a good match. It's a good match, but what is extraordinary is I was watching the first few minutes, and it was slow pacing because you know it's going to be this 15-minute match, and he's working that WWE style with Noam Dar. And he just whaps out with like 5 seconds of that crazy ass moveset that he has, and you go, oh, he's still got it in him. But he's just going 20%. He's just, because it's WWE and you're doing it week in, week out, he just lets it out in little bursts, and you go, oh my god.
You can see they kind of want to push him in the direction that on the mic. Like with promo work, and we've seen it recently in the weekly show.
That is one thing I'm saying that they give everyone to Alexander. They have protected Leo Rush. Cedric Alexander, they haven't given that matchup yet, which I said to you back when Leo Rush debuted. I was like, they should go right to the belt with him, because with his speed, with his agility, he'll get eyes on 205. That's the kind of move, that's the kind of style that you want to see with 205.
Yeah, you want to see him as well. Say after a Cedric match, you want to see guys like Leo Rush face bigger guys. Yeah. Like Rey Mysterio did in the main roster.
Who is going to come back at some point? Now, whether it's at Crown Jewel because he's already been to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whether it's at the Super Show, I don't think so.
I think it might even be as late as something like Survivor Series.
Or it's SmackDown 1000. That's the big one.
It's a good way to
because he's SmackDown. He's big SmackDown boy. So yeah, that Rey Mysterio comeback's interesting because I'm watching All In. He doesn't miss a beat. You're still, he can go. They're not working around him.
No, he's there. Honestly, seems like he is better now and faster now than he was, say, 5-10 years ago, and he's in much better shape.
That's because the indie style suits him in the sense that he chooses his dates. He's not wrestling every fucking week. His knees aren't getting destroyed, so he chooses his matches and can do it. It seems, and to be wrestling New Japan at his age and his style and. He did it even though the booking didn't go to how they planned because it was meant to be facing
Jushin Liger.
Yes, and then they kind of teased an Osprey Skrull thing, but never happened because of contract. But he was showing that he was ready, and good on him. I think that's something that's exciting in WWE. That excites me. Rey Mysterio come back, replacing Jeff Hardy.
That's a whole. Jeff Hardy could be literally a whole series of podcasts in the sense that what that guy's went through and done, the documentary. But I'm excited for Rey Mysterio to come back.
Yep, I think that would change some landscape. I say let's go for it. Let's get into Super Show because I'm now thinking about the possibilities of the future of WWE.
Yep. We've spoke a lot about booking, so let's see what we think. The outcomes.
What's going to happen? But this is the thing. It's WWE Super Show, and already that name is meant to sound cool, and I'm getting the hype up. But it's a house show.
That's my biggest fear. It's a glorified house show, just on a much bigger stage.
Yep.
But I believe the question on our minds is: will there be pyro?
Always. I think there'll be a lot of pyro.
Yeah.
Because Australia's a rich country as well. They want to impress. Like Saudi Arabia.
They've promoted it so much. Every single promo has had Super Show, Australia, Down Under, every single one. I think the only person that hasn't said, in terms of like the promo when they mentioned the Australia show, is Joe. He just said in Australia, whereas everyone else is like the Super Showdown, Super Extreme.
And in my opinion, if we're going back the way, their booking of trying to get it over ruined the booking of Hell in a Cell, because you knew no one was talking about the matches at Hell in a Cell. Everyone was talking about the matches after Hell in a Cell at Super Showdown, and you go, well then nothing's going to happen at Hell in a Cell, and nothing of actual consequence. All the matches that had consequences, nothing happened. That's why I really enjoyed Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy, because I didn't care about the consequence. It was just like, they're going to do a match, and
it made it brutal.
They made it brutal, and they made it a match. But anything that actually advanced storyline, then nothing happened storyline-wise, because it was all waiting for a Super Showdown.
Yeah, it was all, especially when you look at the finish of AJ Joe. It's the kind of Nakamura thing. It always sets it up for the next thing until it gets stale. And I was thinking about this earlier. Never get excited for when a big champion has a title match in a main event, because the way WWE works now is that the fourth version of that match will be the best.
Will be, yeah. And
the first one will get
title match.
First one will be 20% of the one. And then the second one will have a stipulation. We see that's why AJ's run so far.
Whereas you look at New Japan, and I hate to say compare companies, because and most times New Japan will win, in my opinion. The first type match of any feud feels like it could be the end. Like when we saw Mega Ibushi, I know that they can do more, yes, but they give me everything I need in a match to walk away and go, well, I saw everything. Because it got started off slow, then it built, and then it got to that point where it's intense. Same with Naito Jericho. I think maybe Naito Jericho 2 is still going to happen. I look at that match and go, the reason we don't know if it's going to happen is because that match stands on its own as being that rivalry. And they can do a second chapter, but they could also just do that one chapter.
Yeah.
Whereas WWE needs 10 chapters to a storyline that doesn't give you an ending. Still doesn't give you an ending after 10 chapters.
Just constant low blows.
Just constant. And Meltzer said, Meltzer got, I brought Meltzer up, how long? 20 minutes into a podcast. But Meltzer said, referees look like shit in most wrestling companies, because you rely on nobody winning so that the storyline can go on. So the ref takes
over
it. So the ref,
all the stuff, when I think of the recent ref bumps and interference, the big one recently was obviously AJ Kevin Owens. Remember the pin? And it looked like the biggest botch ever, and then they had to build a storyline purely around that referee's mistake, because he didn't finish properly.
The wrestlers were lost in it. But speaking of Nakamura, so we never know the order of a WWE pay-per-view. That really annoys me. New Japan, when they release the card fully, the order that is on the website is the order that it happens in. WWE, no matter what, they can change it. They don't care.
The only thing that seems to be consistent is the pre-show.
The
Cruiserweights 205 and one tag team match.
Well, this is the thing. We said earlier, probably Cedric Buddy will not be on pre-show, and Nakamura still hasn't defended his United States belt. So maybe my inkling is Nakamura will be on the pre-show.
Which is sad.
Oh, and I was going to say to you, can you get to the opponent? I have an idea.
I don't think it's quite ready yet for the Randy Orton thing, because he's actually not laid a finger on Nakamura.
No, and because they're both heel, it's kind of weird. I don't know if they want to go down that route yet.
Who do you think? Do you think it's going to be
Ty Dillinger? I think Ty Dillinger is going to get used in 5 minutes. And they're going to use all the heat they could have used, because those guys are friends in real life and could have created a really good rivalry with Ty Dillinger. Finally gets a shot at the belt. But no, they'll just use him as a challenger to the belt to make Nack America and Nack Australia.
Making Nack Australia great again.
Great again, yeah. And the pre-show. A lot of people are filing in.
And then
getting shut up. Silence.
The only reason that might not be a thing is because it's weird to not have Randy Orton involved in some way to set up that title match, and I can't see Orton pre-showing it. Maybe an opener.
Yeah, exactly. So, but there's so many matches already as well. Because Nax hasn't defended his belt in 2 months.
He's not in a single title event, and he's not really. The whole Nack America thing hasn't been on the weekly product. It's been pictures or promos. It's not actually been him, which is strange. He wasn't even on the card of.
It's strange to do it in Australia as well. To debut it in Australia is weird. Whereas it could actually work, because Australians wouldn't chant USA. So as soon as they see the American flag, they'll boo and they'll get it. It's not as that patriotic heat that they would have got if he's trying to do it in America.
But it's just strange how they're treating the Intercontinental Belt almost as prestigious as the WWE Championship in regards of his booking as champions, and it's always on every pay-per-view.
Yes.
And the USA title hasn't been in TV, and it wasn't in the Hell in a Cell card.
Yep.
It just kind of seems like we don't know what to do with this guy. We know you think he should be a big champ, but we're just going to give him this to shut you up.
Exactly.
Which is annoying.
And even on this card, the Intercontinental Belt defended because it's in 6-man.
Right.
We'll get onto that because there's something about the 6-man I'm interested in. So, going with what's on the website, the opening match is the Cruiserweight Championship. Cedric Alexander defending against the Australian hometown boy. Biggest secret kept.
The best kept secret.
Yeah, that's it. But I mean, no, because everyone's talking about him on the internet, so I don't know if that gimmick keeps on going.
It was good when no one knew who he was never in TV.
Who's your boy?
Purely for WWE booking, I think Cedric's going to retain. And we were speaking about this earlier, and the only reason is because WWE are having this thing now where they want the longest reigning champions to either be homebred WWE or never slander or have anything like that or still work for the company. So that's why I read recently that he's only just over 20 days away from beating Neville's title reign as the longest reigning cruiserweight. So that's the only reason that I think, and maybe the fact that it is a glorified house show, but we don't know that yet. But
Vince loves to screw over the hometown boy. Vince loves to go, no, you don't win.
Yeah, exactly. You might look strong, you'll have a good 3 minutes, so you look great, but I think Cedric will retain. I don't know how that might be. I don't know, it might be a disqualification, anything like that.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going that far.
That was a bold prediction up there. Cedric whams the chair into the ref and
walks away. He's like,
the Australian flag.
I am not wrestling until we are on the main card. That's his gimmick. But I'm going Cedric Alexander.
For it to clean win.
Clean win. Lumberjack. Lumbar check.
Lumbar check, yeah. I'm going to kick it off strong with a disagreement. I'm going Buddy Murphy. And I think I can understand your seeing of it. The way I see it is 205 booking wise is stale. And they know it. And they need a title change, and they were going to go with Gulak, and they didn't because they're going to give it to Murphy. And I actually will get into longer reigning champs. I now have a different theory that they want to beat someone else's record later on in the card.
That's very interesting. You got me thinking.
Yeah. And so then next, why is this happening to try and make Asuka a deal? Asuka and Naomi against the Iconics.
The Iconics.
Sorry. Who are also from Australia, right?
Also hometown, yeah.
So
that makes it even more interesting that they're probably going to open it up to get the crowd popping with 2 Australians.
Yeah. Who are heels in this situation.
Yeah, I don't know if Buddy Murphy, he's heel, right? Right now, because Cedric Alexander's face.
Yeah, Buddy Murphy's playing the arrogance card, and he's playing that he knows he's going to win. I think in the crowd doesn't matter. I think Buddy Murphy's going to get a hell of a pop.
He will. 100%.
Yeah.
I like the Iconics. I'm going to keep calling them that. But with this match, so Asuka and Naomi versus the Iconics, it's just sad to see Asuka in a tag match, but I actually think the Iconics will win because Asuka and Naomi have been getting a lot of wins on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And obviously because it's their hometown, I don't think they're going to meet 3 Australian wrestlers lose in that night. So because I think Buddy Murphy will lose, I 100% think that the Iconics will get a victory and get...
See, I disagree.
Oh man, I
think Asuka's going to look strong. The Iconics are Australian but are not going to get as much of a pop because they're so booked as heels. I think it will be a lower pop, it will be a pop though. I think Naomi's going to be the one that suffers if anyone's getting cheered, not absence of pop. But I think Asuka. Because I think he knows, I think general fan, even if you're Australian or not, you see Asuka in a tag match, you see Asuka in a match, you expect her to win. So I think you'll give that because I think they know they fucked up with Asuka. I think they know they're feeling sorry for themselves about it, but they're not doing anything about it.
No. I mean...
That's the thing. And Asuka Becky Lynch would be really great. But Asuka feels like nothing. No.
And the fact, it's just... she feels like absolutely nothing purely because obviously the streak ended to Charlotte, which I was fine with, to be honest, at the start. But it's the booking afterwards that ruined that match in the sense that Carmella then beat Charlotte clean and then her reign. It just made Asuka look so weak.
Yep.
And it just frustrates me to see her in a tag match. And she's not been on TV. Like,
and that's the thing that's weird is that when Okada lost, it's massive because and New Japan knew it was massive, and they played off him having to climb back up the ladder, and we're still in that storyline in New Japan. He's not back up at the ladder. He can get to the top. They're not even playing that storyline of a defeat and that she lost. After the Charlotte loss, every defeat was just normal, and you're like, no, this is someone that winning was a thing. Like winning was a massive. It's like Aleister Black. That's why it's interesting to have not seen Aleister Black since his injury because you don't know what he's like without that belt yet. You don't know what he's like with that big defeat.
And you've not had that yet. And it'd be interesting. It's a shame he get injured because I imagine we would have seen the outcome of that.
He's back. He's going to be back. It's a small injury, but they kept him off screen because they built this big storyline around him. So all the belts a lot of the belts have been defended. Not the Intercontinental, not the United for now, but the SmackDown Tag Team belts, New Day, vs The Bar, who have now finally become a big thing on SmackDown after 7 months of being on SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't know why because they had so much screen time on Raw, so it's not as if the audience was they didn't know who they were.
But it kind of works because they are refreshing in the sense that The Bar, when just as they were finishing their Raw run, I remember we were all going, "Oh, they're great," but we've seen too much of them. We've seen too much of the schedule. We've seen too much of them doing the finger pointing. But now with the break and them being on SmackDown, it feels fresh. So do you think with this freshness and this up and coming strength, The Bar are going to be the New Day here in the Super?
I mean, this is one I thought about a lot, and I'm torn between the two because you make a good point and a good case for The Bar. I just think the way things are going for the New Day, I can't see them losing, so I think they would retain. It depends who wrestles though. I don't know if it's going to be Kofi and Big E or Xavier's going to be wrestling. Yeah,
from what I've read of the results of the main show in the coming weeks, The Bar they're back and they're kind of making them look good, but they're still not at that point where they need to make them look amazing yet. They're not at that point where it's like, The Bar are back and we want to give them time. So I think The Bar can eat a loss because they're trying to make them look good. So I think The Bar can eat a loss before getting the belts. I think they're going to get the belts, but I think they can eat another loss on a house show, glorified house show, before
they actually get the main shot.
Yeah, before they actually take it, because I do think they're going to take it because I think the SmackDown belts they've not had them. So I think
I would be happy with that outcome because, like you say, they are fresh and The Bar are funny, man. The Bar make me laugh so much. Like Cesaro right now, it's just yeah.
And also they have that thing of looking really strong as well. Like Sheamus is a big bruiser. So yeah, both New Day on that one. Yeah, John Cena and Bobby Lashley. John Cena's just coming to Australia. Just joins on the plane.
Yeah, but
he's not seen him on TV.
He's been in China for ages right now because he keeps putting videos up on his Instagram speaking Mandarin.
He's still waiting for The Undertaker to come out for his WrestleMania match. And he's in China looking for him.
Yeah, still feeling the effects from that missed kick to the face botch. But Cena's
like Kevin Owens against Kevin Owens and Elias.
It's a total. These guys are always on TV. We have to.
These are the guys that are working hard though. Kevin Owens and Elias always put the work in. Promo-wise, ring-wise, but never get rewarded for it. They just throw them out there. Every time it's like,
They get almost kind of title matches that you know are a squash in the sense that there's no possible way they could ever win this. Or like the Money in the Bank, Kevin Owens was in. You just knew. I mean,
got beat in SummerSlam in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, ever since then, WWE decided his new gimmick was just getting thrown off with really high things.
Because he'll do it for the paycheck. Same paycheck as usual, but he'll do it because he's a wrestling guy. And Elias is a really interesting case because I think Elias has never actually, on the main roster, he's never been given that shot in ring. Everyone's going, oh, I don't know what he's like in ring. And the one time he did get given that shot with Seth Rollins, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
He mentioned that he's still not had his rematch for that.
Yeah,
you know.
And they do protect him because they do know he's a big deal. I do think they know because they can throw him in at any time, which they really love, and he's over. He's really over. But Bobby Lashley and John Cena take priority over that.
I mean, if there's one person to bring back to try and get Bobby Lashley's over, it's John Cena. Because you know they're going to win, and then he's going to pick up Bobby Lashley's arms and do that thing. He's like, this guy.
Yeah.
This guy's the next big guy.
Whereas it would be way more interesting, I think, if John Cena came back to face Bobby Lashley. I would have been way more interested if it would have been Bobby Lashley, John Cena.
That would have been very good, actually.
Because it's the old school reference, like they were both around in 2008. And it's that kind of thing of Bobby, you think you can come back to a place that I've been
here,
for.
Been here, conquered, come back whenever I want.
Whereas, but I think that's because Bobby Lashley needs to find a more interesting character than just babyface. Because you look at John Cena, even John Cena now, as a babyface, is way more interesting because he plays into, I might not be a babyface, or I'm confused, or the grey area, and all this, the emotional side. Roman Reigns, same thing, he doesn't play a natural babyface anymore. Bobby Lashley is just big guy points. And that is deadly for crowds. Like, in the WWE world, if you just get pushed and you're just a happy guy who smiles, you get booed. So if John Cena could have brought that over Bobby Lashley, I think that would have been a way more interesting thing than being presented as just this babyface. Yeah,
and it also felt bigger, like larger. It made Bobby Lashley feel like he is top of the card.
Yeah.
Likewise, if they booked him against Lesnar,
which I thought was their plan.
Yeah, and apparently he said recently in that interview that it was, and I feel that would have totally taken a different spin on the way he is right now with the fans to WWE, because when he came back, he did get a bit of a pop because it's always nice to see somebody that's been there before, regardless how good they are. And then after that, he just kind of went straight down, and then he had a decent match against Roman.
Yeah.
And then they just decided the next week to be like, oh, Roman beat him again.
Yeah.
And then you get the belt.
Yeah. And then that was it. And he just still has to, they still try and make him like he's a thing. And they feed him other guys in the roster, but it's not about that, it's about having a storyline that matters. Or knowing that and you know that being putting against Kevin Owens, and that's the annoying thing with Kevin Owens, they're trying to start a rivalry. And you know they don't know what they're doing with Kevin Owens either. And you're going, so nobody's getting a rub out of this.
No.
Because they're just trying with fucking Bobby Lashley, and they're trying with Kevin Owens.
And I actually think that if John Cena and Bobby Lashley win, I think Owens will take the pin. I don't know why, but it's just like you said, they protect Elias, and because recently we've seen Kevin Owens lose so much that it wouldn't surprise me if Bobby Lashley, or even Cena, to reference the match when he came from NXT.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of level they originally presented him at, Kevin Owens, and that's the crazy thing, is that there's some people who get the rub. Seth Rollins is guaranteed a good place up in the card for life. Kevin Owens is still having to fight every day for it. It really surprises me because he's put in the work as well. Yeah, and especially as much as AJ, as much as all these people in the main roster.
To me, he's probably been the best Universal Champion so far.
Yes.
And that seems to go amiss.
But he tried the run, but his run was all up for Goldberg. So yeah, John Cena, Bobby Lashley, it'll be interesting to see the reaction for that. Hopefully they get a nice babyface pop. Maybe it'll be a cheer for Elias Owens. I'd like that as well. Women's Championship. Becky Lynch, the champion, vs Charlotte. It's really interesting to see Becky Lynch finally with the belt, because it's something that people talk about for so long.
And it's not how we wanted it though.
It feels the exact same thing as when Nakamura got the belt.
You never, in the sense of how good their characters are, you never want to kind of see them heal or book like that.
And and it's just like they have to be dastardly to win and look like they're not as good. That's the point. She won clean with Charlotte, and that was the thing that I think surprised everyone. Was like, oh, we thought she was going to cheat to win. But because we still don't believe it, even though she made her clean, we're like, yeah, but she's going to lose clean. she's going to go back right down, and Charlotte's going to face Ronda Rousey in 6 months. Do you know what I mean? That's what Becky Lynch sadly now feels like. It's like Balor when he gets a wee title shot, you're like, oh, nice.
This is nice. Yeah, it's almost like, can you hold the belt just now for a wee while until enough time's passed that we can build for the big.
Yeah. And then Vince will go, oh, we gave her a shot. And it didn't work out. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You didn't do anything. You did fuck all for them. So do you think Charlotte's going to win? Because, no, I think we might go for a DQ. I think...
a stupid
count out DQ, so Becky Lynch keeps it, but Charlotte doesn't look strong.
Yeah, I think Becky Lynch will also keep it. Yeah, and the fact that maybe a silly finish,
because we gave her a chance.
It's inevitable now to have a screwed up finish in at least one match in a big pay-per-view.
Yeah, and the crowd will cheer for Becky Lynch maybe, because that's happening almost every time.
It'd be interesting to see the Australians feel, because I know the Americans love her.
Yep.
But yeah, I think this might be the biggest opportunity she's got to maybe get booed or kind of get some heat. It'll be a mixed bag.
Well, that's the thing. If they end it in a way that you don't see the match, you will get heat, and I think that might work. This is one of the matches I can see if it only goes for 3-5 minutes, because they do something storyline wise and they do something like screwy. It's okay because there's so many matches on this card.
You forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're angry,
I
forget about it.
prefer to see Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair going at it, and then both being on the same playing level. But I don't feel like that's the case. It's like Charlotte Flair is the Roman. It is sadly that Roman Reigns effect of the women's division, where she's like, there's the women's division and then there's Charlotte.
Yeah, at one point she will get the belt at another stage of the year.
Yeah. We were so far I was something quite like ready for my predictions. This is the match that I've had the hardest time predicting for the card. The number one contendership to the WWE Championship. Daniel Bryan vs. The Miz.
That's a big 8 years in the making.
Well, 8 years, 3 matches and down the road.
Yeah, one mixed match.
Yeah, the SummerSlam match I enjoyed. I actually was like, it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't a wrestling match, it was a storyline thing, but I enjoyed it. Hell in the Cell, that's another story. So, and here I know they're still not going to get that opportunity to blow out the war. So, it's sad. It's sad because it's not what we want. It really wasn't what we wanted.
No,
so this is the final match. And it's a weird thing.
Yeah, this will be the end of it. And when you look at the first couple, they haven't really amounted to it. Now, I feel like we spoke about Daniel Bryan since he came back, and it's great that he's back, absolutely fantastic, but they seem so protective, they don't know what to do with him. He's just there to kind of get everyone to say yes, 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 and get the crowd pumped.
Nostalgia. He's a nostalgia act.
Yeah. And
The Miz feels like a more dangerous wrestler than Daniel Bryan. And that's really weird. I think the really bad thing about putting Brie Bella with Daniel Bryan, because it's nothing against Brie Bella. Like, everyone hates her, and she got so much hate on Raw for that thing with Liv Morgan, and she is bad. But the thing of putting her in the ring, in the same ring as Daniel Bryan, this man is the wrestling expert, and he's having to cover up for the fact that his wife is not very good in the ring, and that's what you're spending your time doing with your biggest star. It's really sad because it reflects really badly on Bryan, onto anyone, the Brie Bella stuff, in my opinion. Not because it's his wife or because his wife defines him, but they were in the same ring, and you know that Miz and Daniel Bryan can tell a great story, and they can't because of the in-ring of Brie Bella and Maurice. Yeah,
I just feel that if they were going to do that, they've got the mixed match challenge. Why not go, this is the team for that?
Because then Maurice would have to wrestle every week, because it's like, they're in it for like 16 matches because they're doing it G1 style with points instead of doing eliminations now.
Yeah.
So there'd be so many matches they'd have to wrestle. And that's the thing, they do this one-off thing, and you go, one-off seeing Daniel Bryan Miz is important. Don't do it with that. And I think though, because of storyline, and you look at the 3, Daniel Bryan got cheated at the first one. They got cheated at the second one.
Yeah.
I think Daniel Bryan's going to get a clean win over the Miz.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Man, I completely...
Because now thinking about us just saying here that's the last match, and it really doesn't feel like it, because why would their last ever match in the rivalry be a Super Showdown? I'm going to make a bold prediction now concerning what happens in the main event. Daniel Bryan will face whoever I think wins in the main event. Not the main event, the WWE Championship match.
Should be the main event.
Yeah, it should be. I think Miz will interfere when that championship match happens, to set up a triple threat with the champion and the two guys. I think that's where they might go for Survivor Series.
Bold predictions.
I think it
for
might
that.
be a
That makes sense. Yeah, that.
To add another guy in it. Yeah. Because you say, and I think everyone says, oh yeah, Miz deserves another shot at the title, and Daniel Bryan needs to have a shot at the title. So I think that's maybe where they go down the road.
Okay.
Survivor Series triple threat makes sense to me if they're putting the belt up on line at Survivor Series.
Well, I'm going to disagree.
Nice.
And I'm going with the man I do think deserves a WWE Championship is The Miz.
Nice.
No, this is quite a specific kind of way the match will pan out.
It's not a spinner belt, so you can't spin it into an end.
Oh, he'll do something.
Wear it upside down.
He'll definitely do something cool with it, like he always does. But I think how it's going to play out, it's like you say, they've cheated a few times. There's been hints on the weekly show, SmackDown Live, that Daniel Bryan, the only way he can beat The Miz is to cheat. So the way I think it's going to pan out is that Daniel Bryan will try to cheat, it'll backfire, and The Miz will get the pin, setting up The Miz and whoever wins the WWE Championship.
Yep. He's said you beautiful. You said, and you've locked in your prediction, because I'll shoot one massive hole in your plot. It's like house show. They don't have that much time to involve story and to do that. I don't think they're going to reference anything from TV. I think we're going to go home with a nice Daniel Bryan win. Yes, and thinking he's going to go into the title. And everyone's going to be happy, even if something goes wrong, because they're going to go, oh, it's going to be Daniel Bryan in a title match. And then I think they're going to change it. And I think they might even give the Daniel Bryan title shot on SmackDown to then set up this interference. I don't know. But I think Daniel Bryan, happy heat. Happy yes chance.
I mean,
because they need to make it feel important, because there won't be title changes. A big Daniel Bryan win will feel good. A Miz win, people do cheer for the Miz, that's the thing. But a Miz win, I think people would feel sour about. But
it does all rest on whether it does turn out to be a pay-per-view or does it turn out to be a house show. That's the big thing that will impact that match.
Well, it's house show because the next thing's Crown Jewel as well, actually.
Which is that will be the biggest house show
with
ever.
A tournament, apparently. Which I quite like a tournament.
But the main event's a triple threat between Lesnar, Reigns and
I think they might do 2 triple threats to Saudi Arabia. That'll be where the triple threat happens.
Right, okay.
I don't know, but I think, I really see that happening. Next match, there's so many matches.
So many.
Ronda Rousey and the Bella Twins vs the Riot Squad.
That's so easy. Ronda Rousey and the Bella Twins, because Ronda's so over and the Bellas are trying to come back and they're getting a lot of criticism, so the best thing to do is put them with the baddest women on the planet.
So, I agree with you. I agree with you in the sense that I can't see them Ronda Rousey losing to the Riot Squad. However, I think Nikki needs to turn heel on Ronda at some point in order to make that match mean something, because we all know it's going to be Nikki against Ronda. So I thought originally, I went back and forth because I was like, then they'll get the win to the Riot Squad because Nikki will screw Ronda over. And I went, no, I think that's too big for a house show thing. So maybe Nikki and Ronda will win and then they attack after the match, so they still look strong, everyone looks strong. But then the Liv Morgan thing makes me doubt. The girl's been kicked in the head. Concussed. I think they might be like, giving them a win.
Wow. I mean,
as well as setting up this heel thing and all that.
It would also give the Riot Squad a bit more heat, or just a bit more of a push, because since it came up, since they've actually been drafted, they've not really made an impact.
Yeah, and I think the Bellas are going to get heat because of what happened on Monday in the crowd. So turn them heel as soon as. That would make sense. I think, because with what happened on Monday, I think if you're anytime you're a good writer in wrestling, you use what's happened in real life to future story. If it's okay with everyone involved. And I think I kicked her in the head. I'm not saying they necessarily need to do a promo about that, but with the heat that Brie Bella's got on the internet and all that stuff from doing that and messing up, boom, use it as heel heat. I don't care about my ring, I care about whatever. But I don't know if I should go for the Riot Squad. I'm going to go for the Riot Squad because I went for
sticking with your
Daniel Bryan to win before, so I think
storyline ideas.
Yeah. The next match, It's no disqualification. I didn't know that. So the WWE Championship should be the main event, but it won't be, sadly. We know the big match is going to be the main event.
And it seems like if this
the storyline match is going to be the main event.
Yeah, and if this list ends up being correct, WWE Championship is mid card. Like, and almost
that's
that kind of
in WrestleMania. That's what he did in WrestleMania. It was the main event of the mid card, and then you had a few more matches, and then you had the main event. And AJ's suffered from it. I can tell you, in my opinion, as a fan, I love AJ. God, this is when we talk about getting into wrestling. Yeah. AJ Kurt Angle kept me into wrestling. Something that I think around 2009 when I discovered TNA kind of like revived my love of wrestling again, because it was WWE was getting a bit stale. But AJ, these title defenses, these big matches, the kind of matches that every fan is wanting to see, because of seeing so much of him and seeing so much of these rivalries, nothing feels special about it. And I think he, compared to Pete Dunne as a champion, you rarely see and has this kind of like aura about him when you see him. 100%. AJ has no aura because you see him so much. And and the Nakamura rivalry, I think both guys look worse by the end of it. These shitty endings of Samoa and Joe. I originally, off mic for the last week, anytime Joe's in a match, I pick him. Almost every time Joe's in a match, I'm like, Joe to win. Because since Extreme Rules last year, when he won the #1 contendership to Lesnar's belt, and I was like, Joe's going to win it, guys. And Joe did win it. And I think because it's the third match, I said to myself, yeah, there's no way that they're going to make Joe lose. But I think AJ's going to retain to beat CM Punk's reign. Because I think they want AJ, and also because of the release of the game, all this stuff.
Yeah, they're going to keep the poster boy. He's the cover boy.
AJ, which I think Joe would be a greater champion right now.
100%.
I think Joe, the way he has delivered every promo, the way he has delivered everything that they've been giving him since he's come back.
He's a true heel.
He's a pro. He's an absolute pro in what he does, and I think him with the belt would be scary for SmackDown, and I think that's a good vibe to have. Daniel Bryan, Samoa and Joe would be phenomenal, but I think they're going to go, like I say earlier, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, The Miz, and a triple threat in about a month, wherever that is.
So you're going with AJ?
AJ.
I think there's not much I'm actually going to say on it, because I just don't like to talk to it. It's similar with the reign is getting close to Punk, and that was a belt technically Punk held.
Yeah.
I do think AJ will retain. And it's a shame, because I feel that this match would mean a bit more if the ending of the first match we've seen had the botch finish where he did tap and not the second match, because that kind of killed it for me to be like...
To keep doing the match.
And I just don't see... I see the Miz and AJ being the next thing, which is why I will go AJ, because I feel there's money in that.
Yep.
But I will say AJ Styles to my team.
And I also think, because knowing it's no disqualification, it makes sense storyline-wise that Joe's been pushing AJ to this place with his family and all that. AJ's a face. They're not going to get Joe after humiliating him and talking about his family taking the belt. It's just too much of a sad story for the younger audience, I think. So no disqualification. I think AJ's going to come out and be like, "You brought out the bad guy, me, boom." Styles clash on a chair or something.
I was going to say, sets up the table, top rope. Styles clash off the top.
This is not 2004, mate.
No, and then
Joe leaves,
picks him up, does it again.
Kid comes and hits him once. He's like, "That's my neck, Joe." Next match: Dogs of Justice face the Hounds of Justice.
Or Dogs of War.
Dogs of War.
Dogs, same thing. Dogs, wolves, who will prevail?
Big dogs everywhere. So that's Braun Strowman in a heel, which we could rant about for hours, but I don't think there's a point. Braun Strowman should be a poster boy right now.
Yeah, 100%.
For everything he's done and he's doing.
Could have been the cover of the game in a episode, yeah.
Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre, the World Tag Champs, vs the Shield, the WWE Universal Champion, Dean Ambrose, and
Roman Reigns
with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, the Continental Champion.
This is a tough one.
Who have you got and why? I will tell you straight away, right? I was reading articles earlier, and a possible match popped up for the next 2 months to come, and I went, there is serious money and interest in that. Drew Galloway vs Roman Reigns.
Yes, that would be interesting.
And I thought, I think everyone could be into that. And Drew Galloway's one of these big guys that have got everything probably Vince loves, but the fans are naturally behind him. So I think that view Roman Reigns, even if we all know inside he's going to lose, it looks great for Galloway to be that far up the card that quick. I think it'd be a great match. So there was rumours saying that, or there was a theory saying that Galloway would get the pin on Reigns in the 6-man match.
Oh, I may disagree because I can't.
I'm not saying that's not a prediction.
Okay.
I'm just saying there's an interesting.
I almost think that
I'd love for it to go that way.
I think Reigns will get the win on. I don't know.
On McIntyre.
On McIntyre. Bam. Good. Back down at the card.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I genuinely think that
Reigns
the Shield will win, but Roman Reigns will win. Oh, but I think halfway through, because they've been teasing this kind of Dean Ambrose stuff, like Drew McIntyre's like, you shouldn't be with them.
Yep.
They've got titles, you've not. Come with us.
Yep.
I just think that maybe that will play into it somehow. I don't know how, good or bad, but I just don't see the Shield losing because I feel Ziggler and McIntyre won at Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
And obviously the finish of...
And this is the first time the Shield are back together as a 6-man on a pay-per-view, quote unquote. And
since Kurt Angle took over.
Oh, wow.
For Roman Reigns.
Where is he at? I would say yes. There's a bit in my mind saying, would they make Shield lose in order to put even more hinting on the fact someone's going to turn? Because that's obviously what everyone's interested in. But no, I think the Shield are going to win. They have to, because it's the first time they're back together. I just hope Strowman don't take the pin, but he might. Seems like he's the most logical guy to lose because he's not got a belt.
It does seem that way, and it also say Roman pinned.
But also Braun's set up for a title shot at Crown Jewel and triple threat. No, I think the Shield, Ambrose or Rollins is going to get a pin on one of McIntyre and Ziggler to set up another tag match for Crown Jewel.
And then Brock Lesnar will come in. F5 everyone.
Wearing on a kangaroo.
On Paul Heyman's shoulders. And he comes in, the F5s, everybody, he's like, see, he's all at Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel. He's wearing a Crown Jewel.
That's it.
He's wearing the massive crown. He stole from Saudi Arabia. It's like this serial TV show ending. He stole the Crown Jewel. Is Braun Strowman going to appear with his belt in Saudi Arabia? I really hope he does. His Greatest Royal Rumble belt.
But I don't know why they just didn't do it.
I don't know why he's not defending that. That belt is weird. It's a toy.
It's like they got the United Kingdom and just made it green.
No, they got the United Kingdom belt, showed what they were going to do to all the UK fans, and they vomited on it. And that's how it was like green. Just like a vomit of what the UK wrestling. We've not got to progress yet, sorry. So yeah, I think Shield. Next match, I think this is the main event. I think we've got to the main event.
The main event!
Triple H, accompanied to the ring by Shawn Michaels, versus The Undertaker, accompanied to the ring by Kane.
Mayor of somewhere, or governor of somewhere.
I'm going to say it right now. Triple H is going to pin The Undertaker. Shawn Michaels is going to help him win. And it's going to set up that tag team match in Saudi Arabia.
Is that confirmed yet? Or that's the rumours, isn't it?
That's the tag match that Michael said he would come up with retirement for.
Well, that just makes sense. That's totally changed my prediction because I just didn't see The Undertaker losing in a heartbeat.
But you can't steal my
it just makes logical sense. But
at the same time, Taker could win in the way that they want a rematch with Michaels.
They could do something in the sense that afterwards there's a kick-off.
Michaels could screw Triple H on the win somehow, and that's how it merits a tag team match or something. It could still...
Yeah, I may say that's a possibility actually because the way The Undertaker's career ended, I know it's not technically over.
It's never
over. Never over, he'll always be here.
Yes.
Wrestling.
Michelle McCool will cry every time he wrestles because thinking he would die, as we all do.
And he doesn't care. He's like, fuck it, I'm wrestling.
Glenn Jones is getting their votes.
They're
getting them political votes.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's corporate Kane then.
Oh, fucking hell. That would be the weirdest entrance ever. Like, Taker comes out full leather and then just Glenn Joseph walks out.
Can you imagine they do my gimmick with like almost Trump-esque, and it was like, make Kane great again.
Oh, that'd be...
If they're doing that American stuff.
When they went, and with Shinsuke.
Yeah.
Like in a tag team with Shinsuke.
Oh,
that'd be great.
That would be so
That's
weird.
cold.
But I just think because obviously the way people reacted when Lesnar beat the streak, and then Reigns was the one I outraged at like the most, and obviously he squashed Cena. Literally, my God. So I think that
he looked terrible in the ring.
Oh, he looked so bad, and that's why he's only been cutting promos.
Yep.
And I just think...
Well, Triple H will wrestle around him.
Yeah, like...
Punch around him.
You seen how good Triple H was at making Kurt Angle look a bit better, because that man was struggling with like suplexes, Germans.
Yeah.
But I do think Undertaker will win. Maybe some heat like you said afterwards, but I just don't see him... Since he came back out of retirement, I just don't see him drop the match at all.
Oh, my bad. No, Sean isn't special guest referee. I thought he was. That was a WrestleMania.
Right, okay, so I'm still sticking with Undertaker to win then.
Well, I'm going Triple H.
Triple H?
Yep, Triple H to win.
The Authority.
Oh, wait, actually. They close with Triple H. No, they close with Undertaker.
I didn't actually think it was the main event.
I think it was going to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to still stick with Triple H.
That's nice, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. What do you think will be match of the night then?
Match of the night?
I think I'm going to go because it's the one that's getting me most excited. Danny Bryan.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's the one with when like the outcome you don't really know, and because there's not a title actually, but there is something meaningful there.
Yeah, for once they're doing a number one contendership match that means something, which I like. I liked when Lesnar wasn't there in one way because it made the belt feel like something because everyone was fighting to get a shot at the belt. So now it's cool that there's two people fighting for a shot at the belt, even though, yeah, there's some problems with that belt right now. But
oh yeah, we could get into that as well. But I think the match of the night,
that or Joe and AJ. SmackDown's got it.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a clear winner, AJ and Joe, but I'm going to go a bit of a dark horse. I actually think the Cruiserweight could steal it, genuinely, in the sense...
They'll give it time, maybe.
Yeah, I think because it's a title match and obviously it's Buddy Murphy and they've built it a little bit, I think they will give it a platform. And in terms of the movesets, and every time I've watched Buddy Murphy, I've been so impressed with him. He's been tag teaming a lot with Tony Nese. And the guy, he's not 205, let's get that out of the way actually. That guy does not weigh 205 pounds, man.
I'm sure Drew Gulak does either.
No, but the way he can move, for a guy being that wide and that size, it's incredible. So I just think that has the potential to be the best. What do you think is going to be the worst match of the night?
Worst match of the night?
Yeah. Because it's a tough one, because there are a lot of contenders up there.
The Bella match.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See, the only thing that saves that for me is Rousey will be good in it. And that's something. And I don't mind the Riot Squad, to be honest, but I think the worst match, probably, I'm just looking through the card, the worst match could possibly be...
I think the 6-man could be fun as well, obviously. Because I like the tag match at Hell in the Cell. Rollins and Ziggler have got good chemistry. McIntyre's really good. Ambrose is really good. Reigns really good. And Ring, I mean.
Yeah, not booked.
Braun's really fun. Or John Cena and Lashley. Yeah.
What, for a bad one? Yeah. That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah, that could be
I think that's almost a celebrity match in the sense that, like, for one night only, sells the tickets.
Yeah,
you know?
Very quick pop. It's get out there, do your moves.
It'll be a squash.
Yeah.
They're going to kill Kevin Owens and Elias in like 4 minutes max. Yeah. So yeah, that's probably got the biggest potential to be the kind of the one you're most like, nah. Alright.
So, in a kind of like how much do you think it's going to deliver? How excited? How much of an actual event do you think it's going to be as a pay-per-view? Do you think it's going to rank up? Do you think it'll be worse than Hell in the Cell? Better, worse than Hell in the Cell?
Well, actually, I didn't mind Hell in the Cell. I thought
where do you think it'll be scaled in WWE pay-per-view of this year or something like that? Like, do you think it'll be good? Do you think it will be in-ring wise as a pay-per-view?
If there's title changes, and like if there's one title change at the start and you feel like something's at stake, I feel it does have the potential to be a decent pay-per-view. Like maybe say a 7-8.
I think I say this because the last 2 pay-per-views, because it's been SummerSlam and Hell in the Cell, right?
Yep.
I feel, have been better paced as a whole pay-per-view than a lot of the rest of the WWE pay-per-views this year. Because a lot of them dragged.
Oh.
Especially the Saudi Arabia show.
And Extreme Rules. Oh, man.
Dragged. And with this many matches, I'm worried it's just going to feel like get out, do it, leave. But they have been trying to pace their show. SummerSlam had a lot of matches and it was well paced. It was quite easy to watch the show. So I'm excited. I'm wondering if it's going to just feel like a fucking massive long thing to get through, or if it's going to feel. And I think a lot of that has got to do with whether the matches matter on the night. That's often because with SummerSlam, things kept on moving. Felt like there was something happening. They started with Ziggler, Rollins,
and now look where that is. It's led into this great rivalry, I think, with the Shield and the Dogs of War.
So so you'd say pretty excited.
I actually am. You know, before we even did this, I wasn't as hyped, but going through the card and actually having to think about kind of what can happen. It does have a lot of potential. It's not going to be as bad as Backlash or anything like that, but the storylines are a lot better now. Like you say, carrying over the SummerSlam, like Joe and AJ, Miz and Daniel Bryan, they all have great potential to kind of lead into other things and have. I don't even know what I'm gabbing on a minute, but I'm excited. I'm very excited for the show. The only match I kind of really don't care about, apart from the obvious like Cena and that, I don't really care for Triple H Undertaker.
No.
It's just kind of.
It's not needed.
No, and it's one of those things. It's going to try and attract old fans back.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, they're doing this again. This is back in the day.
Yeah. And it's going to feel like the most out of place thing.
Yeah, because I feel
it's been there, done, and it's.
The
in
Shield,
the past. It's in the fucking past.
The Shield and the Dogs of War, I think, is a much better.
Could mean it is.
Yeah, 100%.
And especially that's what they usually do in house shows, is they do a big 6-man to end it, so that would feel really adequate. It feels like they're trying to make it feel meaningful with that match, and it's like the thing that I care the least about is seeing these old guys come back. I want to see the young guys get a shot, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you want to see the guys from NXT, you want to see like Balor. Balor's not on the card.
No.
Finn Balor is not on the Super Showdown card, which is sad.
So, from one excitement to another, tonight, what was actually happened, most of it's happened.
As we speak right now, yeah.
Are you excited to see, because you've never seen, this is a little bit of insight, one of the reasons I'll tell you, because I was interested to talk about Progress on this, was because Progress, up to last year, I was raving about saying that it was the company in the world, best wrestling company that has something different, that has deserves a platform, and they definitely got that platform now. And I used to love watching Progress events. Like I used to say they're one of the easiest things to watch. Now they've got the biggest platform on Wembley tonight, a full pay-per-view. They're not going to like it, and I'm very excited for you to watch as a full, because you've never watched, I don't think, a full Progress.
No, I've only watched the matches people rave on about. I've never seen a lot of
Progress.
Yeah, because obviously it's such a story-driven brand, promotion.
So looking at that card, that Progress Wembley card, as it's trying to be sold as this big UK, biggest show in Europe.
It's almost like an NXT UK pay-per-view in the sense that all these guys who are at least from the UK are in the new brand WWE NXT. So that does feel kind of big in that sense.
But as a pay-per-view again, we'll go through the card, but do you feel hyped for it?
I feel hyped for some matches. Yeah. Walter, like we said, you get excited to watch Walter regardless if he was wrestling a bin bag. I would still watch him chop it.
Yeah.
Like
I will let everyone in a little secret about my wrestler of the year. I've been trying to think in my head about who the wrestler of the year is, and obviously you always want to see Kenny Omega or Okada. They're always up there. But if it wasn't between them two, Walter. And there's a sneaky other guy that's up there, which is Ciampa.
Oh, Ciampa this year
2018.
But I totally agree with the Walter stuff, and you've been a fan of him since I can't even remember when you showed me him. But you described him the other night when we were watching him versus Jordan Devlin in OTT.
Phenomenal match.
Yeah, great match. But you described him as Walter is the end boss in any video game, and I think that is almost the fucking perfect thing to say when it comes to Walter. He's scary, he's big, he looks like he could cut you in half or chop you in fucking half, more like.
And I remember I was on a Drew McIntyre interview, he said one of the best advice Undertaker said to him as a professional wrestler was, don't play a professional wrestler. You don't act like being a fighter, you are a fighter. And you look at Walter, and that's why I say he doesn't need to do much. Because he doesn't act like a fighter. He's just there, and his arms are as big as weapons. And that's what you're there to see. And him on a main stage in Wembley is very good. That's something that I can't complain about, is seeing Walter main stage as champion. Is very good, but it's something you see everywhere. He's PWG champion. He's
absolutely killing it in the
killing it everywhere. Evolve, he's been around there. He's been killing it everywhere. Everyone wants him. ICW, he did a spin in ICW. I don't know how much he enjoyed it.
Probably, yeah. I didn't even know he did that actually. But
so let's go through the card if you want.
Yeah, I'm up for 100% going for the card. Yeah.
Because let's see where your hype level gets to going through the card.
I won't say then. I'll wait till we get. I won't say which one I'm hyped for, because the ones I tend to be excited for are obviously the obvious ones.
Yes.
Not the Battle Royale.
Not the Battle
Royale.
Royale.
In the pre-show.
So obviously they have a Battle Royale pre-show. Do you want me to throw names? See.
Yeah, throw me a few names.
They've got everyone. They've confirmed everyone. So it's TK Cooper,
okay.
Chuck Mambo, former champion Pastor William Ever, who I used to really like, Spike Trevette, Damian Moser, Chris Ridgway, Roy Johnson, David Francisco, Drew Parker, the OGMO. A lot of these guys are from their dojo and from their training school. Big T Justice, Danny Duggan, Darryl Allen, Sid Scala, Danny Jones, and actually there's more opponents to confirm.
Ooh.
So there could be a surprise person.
I mean, looking at the list here, I mean,
the one name that jumps out is TK Cooper.
TK Cooper are actually.
Because he should be on the main card.
I actually was thinking Chuck Mambo as well.
Chuck Mambo is a good party, so that could get the crowd hot. That's a good show. That's a very good show, actually.
Yeah, do you know what? Screw it, I'll go. I think Chuck Mambo could take it, like you say. Or the other obvious choice for me would be TK Cooper, but
I'm gonna go with Chris Ridgway.
Oh, why?
Chris Ridgway. They've been trying to get him over. They've been trying to get him over for a long while. I think Chris Ridgway is going to get. Otherwise, TK Cooper. I would say TK Cooper, but I think they don't know what they want to do with TK Cooper still. But I think they know what they want to do with Chris Ridgway. So I really like Drew Parker as well. I'm just going to shout that out. He's a deathmatch wrestler. Yeah.
I've only seen a little bit of him, but
he's a fun guy. Very fun guy. So then, I don't want to get into it too much because I was listening to other podcasts. We're getting into a lot. Progress, even a lot of Progress fans have said that the booking recently has been absolutely crazy, and it has. When you look at this match, I think it stands out even as a match. It's a bit crazy. Progress World Tag Team Title Thunder Bastard match. So you've seen a Thunder Bastard match? It's when they all come in. It's like a mini. It's just like a multi-man battle royale.
Yes,
and
they all come in.
Like after 3 minutes, other people come in and it's pin elimination. So Bandido and Flamita as the champions, vs Sexy Star, David Starr and Jack Sexsmith, vs Eminem, Colin Mills and Maverick Mayhew, vs Aussie Open, Mark Davis and Cal Fletcher, vs Anti-Fun Police,
that's a long list.
Chief Deputy Dunn and Los Federales Santos Jr., vs the Grizzly Young Veterans, Zach Gibson and James Drake, and the Kalmari Thatch Kings, Timothy Thatcher and Chris Brooks, vs in 198, Flash Morgan Webster and Wild Boar Mike Hitchman.
That is one stacked match, man. Many are in that.
Big match, and it jumps up to me in a card like that, going, that's you trying to get your guys on the card. And it's a shame how they've got them on the card, because you look at Bandido and Flamita, they are entities of themselves that can do some crazy things.
And a lot of the guys,
David Starr, Zach Gibson, James Drake, these are big guys, Timothy Thatcher.
These are big guys who have been with Progress and been appearing in Progress for years, and it's almost like they're like, oh, we're too busy focusing on the guys that are kind of tied to WWE. So you see Flash Morgan Webster, all these other wrestlers, we'll stick them in a big massive match and
put them in tag teams together.
Yeah, they don't mean anything, and it's just a pointless match.
So who are you going for?
So the champions...
Bandido and Flamita.
Alright.
And they're coming in first. So I don't think they'll survive, I'll give you that hint. That's the only...
They might last to like the final...
Yeah, because they're good... I think they're going to tease multiple times a new tag team winning. I can see them teasing Timothy Thatcher and Chris Brooks like lasting towards the end, looking like they'll be new champs with Bandido being eliminated. So you have this feeling there's going to be new champs. And I do genuinely think that they're going to give it to the 1-8, Flash Morgan Webster and Wild Boar. Because Flash Morgan Webster's been getting so much time since he's been heel. And they've messed up with going, he was with Jimmy Havoc and then he was with Mark Haskins and now he's by himself. Because Mark Haskins and Havoc just randomly turned face at points when you couldn't describe. So I think they're going to try and make Flash Morgan Webster and Wild Boar look strong in the beginning of the pay-per-view. Well, with the card, boom, heel champs winning in this big man match.
See, you've got a bit of an advantage then because I don't know the storyline,
yeah.
So I didn't know Flash Morgan's getting... Because originally I was going to go ahead and just go with Zach Gibson and James Drake.
See, they've had the title for a long time before.
Yeah, because they beat CCK.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
They lost the belts because to CCK originally in the American tour.
Because then they get injured, didn't they? One of them... somebody in CCK get injured, I'm sure.
Lycos.
Yeah.
Lycos.
Yeah.
But then when Lycos came back, they won it again.
Okay.
And they teased that Gibson and Drake weren't getting along. So they've been trying to get along.
So it's going to almost like maybe break up.
Yeah.
You're right, okay.
So, but you can still go for them. They're still...
I'm just going to take a punt and maybe see Calamari Thatch Kings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see a belt on Timothy Thatcher.
But
also like because...
He's great with a belt. He's great with them.
Yeah. It'd be cool to see him in water.
Yeah.
With belts in progress.
Yeah. But I think they need to do Walter and Timothy Thatcher facing each other again. Because they did it for the Atlas belt.
That was such a good match.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that match, go and watch that match.
Absolutely stunner. But I think they'll do it again for the main belt at some point.
That would sell. I would watch the shit out of that match.
Yeah. So, Timothy Thatcher and Chris Brooks is a good idea because they look good. They'll look good and they'll get the crowd over. One-on-one match, the last match of the King of Bros in the independent scene. Well, in WWE's independent scene. Facing Matt Riddle, facing Mark Haskins.
I mean, Riddle. They're not going to have Riddle lose his last independent match and also the ties with WWE and now that they have a good relationship with Progress. I just can't see that guy losing and then going into NXT on TV. So I think Riddle, but it's a shame because I think Haskins. I think it'd be a great match. Haskins is crazy.
It's had no build, but it doesn't need. This is one match because it's very progressy. It's two guys you know have worked their ass off in Progress, and are going to have one last time at it. Haskins, however, sadly, started to really love Haskins towards the end of 2017 in the Progress run, and his 2018 has been not good, in my opinion, not good at all. I actually think I'm going to counter your opinion, and I think Mark Haskins is going to win because I think they're going to give him that moment, that rub, and be like, you're a Progress guy.
And the biggest show they've ever done.
Yeah, because he's been with them for a long while. Yeah, because they've always made Riddle strong, so I think they can go, he's got other things on his mind now. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's no longer a Progress guy, so he gives the rubbing away, so he doesn't need to be protected, but the next match, which I do think if they are going to be on the spotlight, if they want to have the spotlight that they want to have on this card and this moving forward, this has to be brutal. Paul Robinson vs Jimmy Havoc in a no disqualification match.
There's going to be a lot of blood.
Their first match was horrendous, and it was greatly horrendous, but really brutal. And
who won that match?
Havoc. No, Paul Robinson.
Interesting, right, okay. And it's their second match together then, since that, right?
They've had long story past, because he used to be in Jimmy Havoc's heel stable, he used to be with Ospreay, then he fucked over Ospreay for Jimmy Havoc, then he turned face, and now he's heel again, trying to bring out evil Jimmy Havoc. I think it's like Joey Janela in All In. Jimmy Havoc's a crazy man, so if you give him a platform where he knows that there's even more people watching, of course he's going to do something even more mental.
Yeah, like Jeff Hardy in the early days.
Yeah. And so I do think they're going to they have to compare their other match, and I think they're going to go higher than that. So I think it's going to be fucking brutal, and I think Jimmy fucking Havoc is going to come back and show his brutality and win the match.
I will also second that because I was thinking the fact that Robinson won the first match and then the kind of storyline that you've explained, it does seem right for Havoc to go back to roots, super extreme, almost kill him and win the match.
Havoc, the interesting thing about Havoc is the golden boy of Progress in the sense that he is the guy that brought every eye to Progress when he became champ and had like a 2-year run as champ. It was like vicious. Paul Robinson doesn't wrestle anymore, so he's a writer in Progress, so I don't think they'll give him a win anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Writes himself to win.
Yeah, unless they do another match, but I think it's just going to be, he's going to bring back Jimmy Havoc, and that's going to go forward into the next chapter of, is this brutal man who used to be a 2-year champ, can he do it again maybe? Progress Women's Belt. Jenny, the champion, against Toni Storm and Millie McKenzie. Millie McKenzie I've not seen a lot of, but I think she's very good from what I've seen. Toni Storm obviously I think is killing it in WWE, absolutely killing it. She looks great in WWE.
First UK, somebody from the UK independent scene that gets signed.
Yes.
Yeah, before they started the NXT UK brand,
she was one of the first. Shayna Baszler and looked amazing.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
I also think Toni Storm, just because how hot she is at the moment, and obviously with WWE wanting that, do you want her to go into that again? Like Matt Riddle, looking strong, and because I think she is the best competitor, one of the best female wrestlers today. I think that she will take it. Yeah,
I'm going to go Millie McKenzie.
Millie McKenzie,
because I think she's the only one that's not in WWE UK. Well, she is, but she's not the ones that are being pushed right now. I know WWE's like well into Jenny and well into Toni Storm, so I think they'll give it to the person that is going to be more with Progress. But yeah, I think that makes sense. TLC match.
Oh,
for a #1 contendership.
The Atlas or
the main belt?
The main belt, right, okay.
Mark Andrews vs Eddie Dennis. So they used to be a tag team. Eddie Dennis turned heel, got injured, and so they've been building this match for a year.
A year?
They've not been in the ring, they've like brawled on the outside, but they've not been in a match.
Oh man. What does Eddie Dennis wrestle like? What's his kind of style?
He's a big, slow guy.
Against obviously a small, super fast Mark Andrews.
He's Welsh as well.
That's important, that's very important. He is a Welsh wrestler.
He can fly. With his wings.
Can fly, and a dragon. I mean,
but I think he plays into Mark Andrews, that's why. But Eddie Dennis chose the stipulation.
That's interesting though.
Yeah, and I was like, that's a weird choice that he chose that. If you're a heel, to me, you would not choose TLC. You would not be like, oh man, I'm
going to put myself through a lot of pain to get this victory.
And climb up this ladder to face this small guy. No, I think he'd be like Steel Cage or some shit like that.
Getting trapped, yeah. Because it does play into with like ladders, tables, it totally plays into Mark Andrews. And I do think...
I think this could be match of the night.
Yeah, 100%. In terms of work ethic,
if they throw it to the walls like they could, like TLC in Wembley.
Potential for spot of the night as well. 100%. I think Mark Andrews will take it. I just feel like the fact that Eddie Dennis has chosen the stipulation, it seems like he's at an advantage, but it's going to be his own undoing, and Mark Andrews is going to flip off a ladder and kill him.
Yep. Shouldn't start press. I'm going to go Eddie Dennis though. Because I think Progress storyline company, and Eddie Dennis is obviously one of these heels. It's like, I got a chip on my shoulder, I hate the company, all that stuff. Gets a #1 contendership. I think he's going to get a #1 contendership and then do fuckery things with it, like, oh, I want it at this time, but I want to cash it in, and kind of go storyline with it. And also because he's not been in the ring a lot since his return. Okay. I think they might need to make him look strong. He did a really cool thing which he attacked Mark Andrews' gig. When Mark Andrews was playing, came up and swiped.
Nice, that is a way to build a feud, man.
Good heat.
WWE, take notes.
Yeah. Well, They do. They probably send it in a letter.
Yeah, let's get someone to
with
crash.
Matt Riddle, they sent like your notes on the show and a Matt Riddle quote.
Matt Riddle to crash a Fozzy gig.
That'd be great.
That'd be great. Just flip
Wait till you get into my
drums.
booking. Wait till you get into my draft. See it, it's booked. This match I'm surprised and interested in because I actually love the man, and if it's going to be his last match, well played. The Atlas Championship belt is on the line, and if Doug Williams loses his belt, he will retire. Doug Williams, yes, Trent Seven. And Doug Williams is one of the guys, and it gets forgotten, that really flew that British flag in America when it wasn't cool to be from Britain and to fly that flag. And he absolutely wrestled that style in TNA. Had matches with AJ.
I've not even seen any of those. I'll have
to
Devils look at them, man.
Yeah. The Chaos Theory, Chad Gable's finisher.
Yeah, that's a great move. Oh, really? That may be one of my favourite finishers in wrestling today, man. That is so strong.
Chaos Theory calls it. Chaos Theory.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this, just what you're explaining to me. But
old veteran.
Yeah, against.
And he said, when I lose the belt, he's done the old Ric Flair storyline.
I'm away.
If I lose, I'm away.
It seems like a beautiful platform
for him to
retire, and a great opponent to do it to. Yes. A very humbling opponent.
Yeah. And the Atlas belt is great for it because it's the heavyweight belt.
Yeah.
Great for Trent. They kind of messes up the Walker's also the world champion because the Atlas is made for big division people. Trent to win. Theory send off a few jokes. He'll kiss maybe. Slap his belly. Do some real comedy.
Pull the nipples.
What they're calling the biggest indie match of European wrestling. Pete Dunne. Yes. Ilya Dragunov. I hope that's right.
Let me see it. Yeah, I think that's right.
Ilya Dragunov. Who's everyone is raving about from bowling. Yeah. And obviously he's been WXW for 2 years doing crazy things. I've kept my eyes off him, so I'm very excited. I didn't want to watch him.
Yeah,
I want to see this match for what it is.
From what you showed me today, we were watching a bit of it earlier, like the kind of build up. He kind of seems like almost like a Rocky character. See, like Ivan Drago, when Ivan Drago comes in as this beast who's coming for the guy who's the top of the game, and you are so scared of what this guy can do. And when you see him in the promos, he looks fucking scary, man. He makes Pete Dunne look a bit more timid.
But that's what you bring out a Pete Dunne that is ready to go there because Pete Dunne used to go there. And he has calmed down because of WWE. And Dragunov's a hard hitter, I think. From what I've heard, I think it'll hit hard. We talked about this beforehand. I think it'd be a fatal error if you make Dragunov lose. Fatal error, because if Dragunov's ready to work for Progress, get that man on board and make him look good.
Make him, when Dunne's too busy to do Progress because he's doing WWE, this guy's the biggest person in Progress because who he beat. Yeah.
And all on the card I was saying, give it to him because he deserves it because he's a Progress guy and deserves the award. Pete Dunne had a year reign as the champ. And now he's WWE champ. He's got all the rub he needs. This Dragunov, if he wants to stay in Progress, if Jim Smallman wants him on board and all that, give him the big win. Give him the big W.
Is that what you're going with?
I'm going Dragunov.
Yeah.
That's what I want to happen.
Yeah. That's what I want to happen. My fear is that because Pete Dunne is Pete Dunne, that they just go, we can't have him lose at the biggest show that we've ever run because he's one of the household names.
Because he's the best.
Yeah. But then at the same point, if I think that Pete Dunne, Trent Seven, I don't want British Strong Style to all win their matches.
That's the thing. That's what I booked when I was thinking about All In. I was like, no, they're not going to make all the bullets win.
Every single match is squash.
Yeah, they did. But and thinking about it, I was like, of course they could, and they can. Well, apart from Mark Scroll, is what it is. But yeah, I can see all the rubs to the Progress guys, but Pete Dunne, I think, can take the loss. I think he'll take the loss again because I think the WWE storyline can play into Progress being like he's thinking about other things.
Yeah.
And I like that, whereas Dragunov's been thinking about this match for 4 months. So he's ready, do you know what I mean? Whereas I think Pete Dunne is doing other things. But hey, if he's a beast, he's a beast. You're going Dunne?
Yeah, I'm going to go done. Yeah, I'm going to go done.
The main event, which, again, the build there is nothing, but it's the kind of matchup that I think in the ring, when the bell actually rings, you can be hyped for.
Yeah, it's a main event that's purely based off of how good the in-ring talent is.
Yeah, and the shape of the match, and even like, there's small characters, man, like the big guy, VS, that tiny little fucking strong boy.
And he is a little strong vegan boy.
Yeah, he's ready. Walter, VS, Tyler Bate. Who have you got and why?
This has been one that I keep, even when we were on the build up to this, I've been thinking Tyler Bate the whole way.
Back and forth.
But the more I think about it, I'm like, Walter, man. Like,
I can see the picture of Tyler Bate doing his wee spin with the belt and everyone's going crazy.
Yeah.
And I go, it's too good. It seems too nice, and it seems like, oh yeah, Wembley's the end. Wembley's not the end, it's the wrestling show. Goes on. And Walter is 2018. And that's
Walter is the hottest thing on the indie scene, 100%. I'm also going Walter. Yeah.
I think Walter sat annoyed crowd, and then I think they might do something. I was thinking maybe Travis Banks returns. I don't know if his injury's ready, but I think they'll do something to set up something else.
Travis Banks and Walter would be great.
Yeah, well, that's how he lost.
Yeah. So it'd be good to pick that back up again.
That storyline was not good, but hey. So yeah, what do you think match of the night will be?
Match of the night, I think, has the potential to be the main event. Walter and Bate, just because how surprisingly strong Tyler Bate is, and to see chops, and the fact that he's so small, it feels like he's going to chop so high up to get to Walter's chest. Yeah. That could be potential.
And you can give Walter time. I think with any time you give Walter, he'll do a great match.
Oh, 100%. I've not seen it. I've never watched a match of Walter's and thought that was a disappointing match at all.
Yeah.
And also, I think
Dragunov and Dunn is gonna be great. But also Havoc Robinson will stand out with something, and so will Andrews. That's the interesting thing. I think between Robinson, Havoc, and Andrews and Dennis, because TLC is violent in its own way, and then Robinson and Havoc can go for a death match. So it'll be interesting to see which one stands out more in that perspective. And also Haskins Riddle and Dunn Dragunov and Bates Walter, very in-ring based matches. To see that. It kind of annoys me about the women's match that they did a triple threat. I think
it would be much better if it was
a one-on-one, something intense, given as much storyline build as the guys. It seems like they're just throwing it all together. But yeah, that's progress. That's the progress. Your interest is it's looking at the card. Actually, I kind of go, yeah, they've kind of left a lot of it to the in-ring, and that might not be a bad thing. No. Now looking at it now,
that's what makes indie wrestling that little bit more enticing. Is because they can just go to their full ability. They're given that freedom to do whatever move you want to do and press out there.
Stay away from your Twitter, but I hope it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I hope the crowd's good.
I think it's going to be a massive pop, regardless of how progress has been going recently, purely because where it is, how big a league this is.
The feeling
I think it's going to have it's going to feel all in. Do you get what I mean? It's going to feel like that, small in 10,000, like.
Yeah. We want this to succeed, which I hope it does feel. See, if it just feels like another show, that would be a shame. So yeah, enjoy progress and enjoy. Supershow. When is Supershow? Next weekend?
October 6th, I think it's next Saturday. Next Saturday.
But
it will be early, won't it? Well, for us over here in Scotland, we will
be a weird time.
Yeah. I feel like we should know that though. I'm going to Google right now.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to go and Google that, and then we'll see progress whenever it comes out. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoy watching wrestling, and have a good one. And I hope I'm right on the prediction.
We shall see.